Hello everyone, welcome to a very special video. I'm DTM as always, and in this video, we'll be taking a look at the new 2022 May weapon refines. Yeah, they were a little bit delayed, but regardless, they are here now. And special thanks to Phoenix Master for making this amazing graphic. Really helps put everything into one place. And yeah, I'm personally super excited for this batch because I both have Idunn and Felicia, Picnic Felicia. So yeah, obviously 2 units that can get refined in my barracks, so hopefully they turn out good. And as always, if you do like the content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell, all that jazz to help support the channel. Only takes 5 seconds to subscribe, but it truly does help out this channel a lot, and I really do appreciate all the constant support. So let's start with Duma, and Duma has a pretty interesting refine. Reads grants attack plus 3 at the start of combat if foe's HP is less than 100%, or if unit's attack is greater than foe's attack, grants attack res plus 6 during combat, and foe cannot make a follow-up attack, along with the adaptive damage. The refine effect reads, if unit initiates combat, or if unit is within 2 space of an ally, grants attack plus 5 to unit, inflicts attack minus foe on foe, and reduces damage from foe's first attack by 30% during combat. And also, if unit's attack is greater than foe's res, unit's first attack deals damage equals to 30% of unit's attack minus foe's res. So, to summarize, the base effect has a more lenient condition. Beforehand, it was only just when foe's HP is less than 100%, which with Upheaval is normally the case, but offense teams can run like healers or healing towers, or just heal naturally through their sustain from something like Mystic Boost. So having this additional attack check at the start of combat is also really good, especially considering that Duma does have a pretty high attack stat and a high visible attack stat. This is a visible check. And so that just makes getting this follow-up denial a lot more consistent. And obviously the effect refine basically just makes him more bulkier and hit harder. The 30% damage reduction, along with the attack minus 5, will allow him to be able to take out, to withstand potential foe counterattacks, especially since this condition is if unit initiates combat, and also allows you to deal more damage with that true damage based on the difference between the unit's attack and foe's res. And so, honestly, this reads as something that you'd want to use for a Wings of Mercy Duma. Like, Wings of Mercy Duma can just fly in after an ally got reduced to half health, and then just swoop in and go in and attack, and I feel like this weapon refine really helps with that a lot, granting him more power and more survivability. Honestly though, the refine isn't exactly the most exciting portion of this remix for me. It has to be Upheaval, and Upheaval Plus effect is now super strong. First off, at the start of turn 1, you deal 10 damage to all foes, so that is up from 7. Not the biggest increase, but any damage increase helps. But this is where things get spicy. If defending an Ether Raids during Anima season destroys nearest offensive structure, does not affect structures that cannot be destroyed. And so instead of just destroying the structure in the column of where Duma is, it's now a lot more lenient in that it is just whatever structure is nearest. And this also does not take into account fortresses or escape ladders. Like, this effect just ignores fortresses and escape ladders and just pretends they don't exist, and hits like the next nearest structures. So as you can see here from this video, that this one Redditor helpfully taken out, as you can see, Duma's nearest structure technically is the fortress, and after that is the escape ladder, but because these cannot be destroyed, Duma ignores them and then targets the next structures, which are the tactics room and the bolt tower, and both gets hit because they're both equal distance away from Duma. So yeah, obviously this is a huge buff to Duma, and will definitely make him very strong. Will definitely help out sniping things like bolt towers or safety fence, which are the bane of Catria Balls and Turn 1 Initiators defense maps. And so Duma will definitely be able to withstand that, and honestly, I think has a lot of great utility for Ether Raids. Although, unfortunately, he does get shut down by Elamine. So if the enemy has Elamine on their team, that's basically GG's. But I mean, regardless, it's still a very strong effect, and I'm very excited to see how he shakes up defense. Honestly, probably not going to shake it up as much as something like Medius, but honestly, Anima Season, I can take any help I can get at this point. Elamine save balls are running rampant right now. Yeah, on to the next one, which is Demonic Breath by Idunn, and this one is super exciting. Grants Death +3, effective against armored foe, if foe initiates combat, or if the unit's HP is less than 100% at start of combat, neutralizes penalties on units and grants attack speed death res +4 to unit during combat, along with dragon adaptive damage. The weapon refine effect reads, if foe initiates combat, or if foe's HP is greater than or equal to 75% at the start of combat, grants attack +5 to unit, inflicts attack -5 on foe, and also, if foe can make a follow-up attack, reduces damage from foe's first attack by 70% during combat. So this is an insane amount of damage reduction. It reminds me a lot of Valentine's Gustav, in which Valentine's Gustav has 75% damage reduction from foe's first attack if the foe can make a follow-up attack. And in Valentine's Gustav, it's super strong because you can just slap in a Breath Seal and Bonfire, and when, say, like Brave Erica comes in and attacks, Brave Erica will attack and that attack will have 75% damage reduction, so Gustav will survive. And then Gustav will immediately retaliate with a Bonfire and basically can just one-shot Brave Ericas. And so Gustav doesn't even need to take into account the second hit that doesn't get any damage reduction. And so I feel like Idunn can function something similar as a near-safe configuration. Obviously, you can't run Bonfire because she doesn't have Slaying, but there are 2-turn specials like Moonbow or Glimmer that I feel can suffice. However, I think a more interesting build for her will be as a far save unit in something like Summoner's Duels. If you run Hardy Fighter on her with Aegis, Hardy Fighter will reduce Aegis' cooldown count to 1, and so what you have here is you have the weapon 70% damage reduction on the first hit, and then the Aegis proc on the second hit of the enemy, assuming of course there's no guard effect or anything like that, which there generally isn't in something like Summoner's Duels. And so this is really good, especially if like we have Flash of Steel return as a captain skill. Like, we all know about the Flash of Steel Yuri with lethality that only turns it down to 1 combat. I mean, that only has a lethality at 1 cooldown. And so with the Hardy Fighter build, like, the first hit of Yuri is just normal. There's no lethality proc yet, and that will get reduced by 70%. And then Yuri will then attack again with the lethality proc, but then Aegis will be up. And so this, if Flash of Steel Yuri's ever return, like, this is definitely going to be very strong. I mean, regardless, it's strong anyways, as long as, like, you don't have the special pre-charge. This Hardy Fighter Aegis build I'm thinking of, we have to see how Idunn does against something like pre-charged Deadeye Crom, Valentine's Crom. We don't have the Sims up yet, so I feel like that matchup will determine whether or not she will make a very, very meta far save option. But still, this is really good weapon refine, and definitely increases her function as a save unit, especially with the more lenient condition with the penalty neutralization. The big thing, of course, is that she still has armored effectiveness. Again, we'll see if the matchups, whether or not she needs to run Fallen Shield or not, or whether or not that even helps. But yeah, super excited about Idunn. I just wish I had more Hardy Fighters so I can actually use Idunn as a far save option. But yeah, on to the next refine, we have Gharnef, and Gharnef has a very interesting refine, actually. So, Imhulu, I think that's how it's pronounced, grants res +3. At the start of turn 3, deals 7 damage to non-magic foes within 5 columns, centered on unit, and inflicts status on those foes, preventing counterattack through their next actions. And this is something that is added in addition. If unit initiates combat or unit is not adjacent to an ally, grants attack speed +5 to unit during combat. So that little addition, this little addition to the base effect is just helping his combat, which, as you can see with the stats, he desperately needs. I don't know if he's exactly the best unit to actually initiate combats though. Also, this deals 7, deals 5 previously. Again, 2 damage is not the biggest thing in the world, but any damage helps, I guess. And the Refine effect, at start of combat, if unit's HP is greater than or equal to 25%, grants attack speed +5 to unit during combat, and also if foe is non-magic, reduces damage from attack during combat and from area effect specials by 30%, and foe cannot make a counter-attack. So this Fire Sweep effect is actually really strong against non-magic foes. Obviously, Null C users like Ascendant Idunn won't get affected by this, so I'm not entirely sure how useful this will be. The damage reduction helps, but I don't exactly know if there's a place for Gharnef exactly. Don't get me wrong, I think he does have a pretty solid refine and can definitely make to work. I just wish like the start of turn 3 would have been just at turns 1 through 3. I feel like that would have been a lot more helpful, because by turn 3, normally like the match has already been decided in something like Arena or Summoner's Duels. In Aether Raids, the only thing that this would affect is Bolt Tower turns, but if you're putting Gharnef on defense, then that's, I feel like, a huge opportunity cost, and I don't think Gharnef's really that good on offense either. So yeah, very interesting refine and very solid. I just don't exactly know where his place will be. I just wish like this base effect was turns 1 through 3 and not just at turn 3. Although maybe in something like Summoner's Duels, he can run like Canto Control and then be a really good support option. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of things. Let me know down in the comments where you think Gharnef would be super good at, because I would be very super interested to hear about that. But yeah, on to the next refine. We have Kaden with Kitsune Fang, and we have to talk about this because IS made an oopsie. But before we get into that, let's read it out. Grants Def +3 if units within 3 spaces of an ally. Grants attack speed +5 to units during combat. Grants allies within 2 spaces bonus to attack speed def res during combat equals to current bonus on each of unit's stats. Calculates each stat bonus independently. And so yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the exact same as what he has in his base effect. Let me look at that actually real quick. Yeah, it's the exact same. No, it's not the exact same. He does get the attack speed +5 to unit during combat, but I mean, Kaden is supposed to be a support unit, so I don't think that's exactly the most helpful. And then of course we have the Beast Transformation effect, and now the Refine effect. If unit is within 3 spaces of an ally, grants attack speed +5 to unit during combat, and also if units within 2 spaces of an ally, grants def res +2 to unit during combat, and inflicts special cooldown charge -1 on foe per attack. Okay, so this is a mistranslation. This second part right here that grants def res +2 to unit and the guard effect, this is a drive that is granted to the ally. So you're actually giving your ally defense res +2 and the guard effect. So I don't know how they messed that up. And you can see here on this Reddit post that this is them showing that Kaden's effect is the drive. As you can see, Kaden has his refine here. Kaden does not have guard or any additional like defense buffs, like joint drive defense or whatnot. And then we have the blue mage with no affecting skills. And then as you can see in the combat, he has a def +4 and res +4, +2 from ally support, and the other +2 from Kaden. And blue mage, despite doing damage, still has 3 cooldown from last time. So yeah, very big mistranslation. I'm surprised that this got through, but this makes him an even stronger support option. I mean, he was already super strong as a support option to begin with, and this just makes him really stronger. Granting guard drastically increases the survivability of his support. I say support partner, but it doesn't need to be support partner, it's just allies. But I just like saying support partner because you get what I'm talking about. Don't take it too literally. But no, like, inflicting guard is very strong and helps, like, reduces the chances of getting, like those specials charges, especially something like Lethality or Deadeye. Obviously, this doesn't help with if those specials are pre-charged, but still, like in something like Summoner's Duels, this would be a very strong as a support for a raid boss, for example, and basically prevents the enemy from ever getting through your raid boss from something like, I don't know, Fallen Edelgard or something like that. And obviously in Aether Raid's offense, this will be very strong for potentially save balls. You don't have to run like a guard effect in the B, like a guard fighter in the B. You can run separate other fighter skills that might be better, like Hardy Fighter, for instance. Hardy Fighter armors would definitely benefit from this guard effect as well. So yeah, overall, Kaden, I mean, he already was one of the best support units in the game, and now he's even better. So definitely along the ranks of, say, like Flame or Brave Lucina, I feel. I really like his refine a lot. And next we have Picnic Felicia, who I'm super excited by. She actually has a speed stat, so definitely, and I feel like stacking speed is the way to go for these armors to prevent like the doubles from happening. But let's read this out. Grants speed +3, effective against beast foes at start of combat. If unit's res is greater than foes' res, inflicts penalty on foes' attack speed defense during combat equal to 80% of the difference between res stats before combat. So this changed from 50% to 80%, which is a really huge boost and desperately needed to get the max penalty of -8. Now you just need to out-res your opponent by 10 instead of like what was it if it was 50%? Like 16? Yeah, that is a huge difference. So that will just make the penalty infliction a lot stronger. And the refine effect, if foe initiates combat or if foe's HP is greater than or equal to 75% at the start of combat, grants attack speed def res +4 to unit, and neutralizes effect that guarantee foes follow-up attacks during combat. And also, if unit's res is greater than foe's res, reduces damage from foe's first attack during combat by 30%. So, at first, this last portion might seem like something out of Dragon Ball, but this is just a set 30%. It's not based on the difference. So as long as you out-res your foe, you're always going to get this 30% damage reduction. And if foe initiates combat, you're always going to get the neutralization of the auto follow-up from the foe, which is super strong. A unit like Dual Chrom definitely relies on being able to auto-double, and so just preventing that while naturally outspeeding Dual Chrom will just allow you to more easily survive Dual Chrom, which is extremely important for save armors these days. And especially for near save options, I think Felicia will do extremely strong in. Sort of similar, I feel, to Valentine's Lucina. Obviously, Valentine's Lucina will be a lot better, but Felicia can still suffice just as well, and definitely ranks like just a tier below, I feel. I think the big thing is that you do want to stack res, and that fights against you also wanting to stack speed. So I feel like that can be a bit awkward in terms of how you want to like stack your stats. You probably have to go Swift Stance, I think, instead of Kestrel Stance, and like Speed Res will form as well. I mean, you can definitely make it work. Obviously, it's just like it's awkward because ideally you only want to focus on speed, like something like Valentine's Lucina can. But no, like Felicia will be super strong as a near save unit. Will also probably be strong as a far save in SD as well. Although again, we'll definitely need to check how Felicia does against Dual Chrom, which I feel like is the standard at this point. Does your save armor unit, if you're going to be using her as a far save option, can they withstand Dual Chrom? It's why like Fjorm fell from grace, unfortunately. But yeah, I would definitely be interested to see once we get Felicia's refine in the simulators how she does. But it's definitely a really good armor. Again, having high speed is really good on armors these days, especially with this neutralizing effect, preventing a foe's follow-up attack. That's really good. And yeah, next we have Thea, who has a new weapon, Icy Maltet. And this is a long one, so I'll try to keep it brief. At the start of turn, if unit has been enhanced by using Dragon Flowers 10 or more times, grants attack def +6 for turn 1. So this is just a bonus. It's not like in combat. If foe initiates combat or if foe's HP is greater than or equal to 75% at the start of combat, grants bonus to attack speed defense res during combat based on the number of times the unit has been enhanced using Dragon Flowers. 1 or more times grants +5, max 0 times grants +4. And also, if unit has been enhanced using Dragon Flowers 5 or more times, inflicts special cooldown charge -1 on foe per attack. And also, if unit is within 3 spaces of an ally, grants attack speed def res +4 to unit during combat, and grants bonus to attack speed def res during combat equal to current bonus on each of the unit stats. So, okay, to summarize all this up, she grants a bonus to herself on attack and defense +6, so that is a visible bonus, and at max, with all these conditions met, she gets +9 to all of her stats, the guard effect, and bonus doubler. And so this basically makes Thea into a very, very huge stat ball. I'm not exactly the biggest fan of stat ball refines because I feel like stats are the one thing that is the most consistently power crept. But the guard effect and bonus doubler is super nice and would definitely make her very powerful. I don't exactly know if there's a place for her exactly. Because flyer tanks, I feel need Savalin's shield. You can run that on the seal, of course, and I guess that should be fine. Or you can support her with a far save option and just ignore bows entirely and have the far save unit take on those bows. But again, at that point, I'm not sure if she would do better than, say, a near save unit like Felicia, for example. I mean, for a 4-star refine, this is extremely good, and so you can definitely use her to clear a lot of content, including competitive content like Ether Raids. Not exactly sure where she'll be used in Summer's duels, honestly, probably not at all, unfortunately. But this is, I don't think you'll be using Thea in Summer's duels to begin with. But no, the guard effect and bonus doubler and all the stats will definitely make her stand out. You can even run bonus doubler on the A to just double down. And it's not that's too out of the ordinary or anti-synergistic because she also gets this visible buff, right? So yeah, Thea, very solid refine. Not entirely sure where I would place her or I would use her, to be perfectly honest. But still, overall, all of these refines are really solid at the very least. I don't think anyone has been shafted. I feel like the standout ones are, honestly, these 4. Duma, Idunn, Felicia, and Kaden. And I guess if I had to rank them, I'd do something like this. I personally really like support options a lot. I feel like they stand out for a longer time, and as long as they do something unique, they just fill in. They don't face a lot of competition. Idunn and Felicia are really good, obviously, but they face competition from other save armors like Brave Hector, Ascendant Idunn, Halloween Myrrh, Valentine's Lucina, units like that. So I feel like Kaden offers a lot more potential as a support, granting all of that stats and the guard effect. And of course, Duma here is really cool with the new upheaval. He would have been higher if Elamine didn't exist. We need a counter to Elamine already. But no, Duma will be a very good mythic. Honestly, one of the better anima mythics, I feel. Yeah, I think so. I think the only ones that are better, I feel, are obviously the ones that enable the 7th slot, so Odor and Saros, and probably Mirabilis. And yeah, Idunn, again, that damage reduction is super huge. 70% is no joke, and you can even run that Hardy Fighter build that I mentioned before in Farce as a far save unit for Summer's duels. And then Felicia, again, high speed, easier condition to meet that stat infliction, and the half NFU is really good to prevent the auto doubles. So all of these honestly I would put these all really close, so don't really pay attention to the order that much. They're all in A tier. And then in the B tier, we have Thea. Again, super strong. Again, I'm just not the biggest fan of stat ball refines, but she definitely can be made to work, and is definitely a strong unit, and is not shafted at all. And then Gharnef, I think, is super interesting. Although, again, I am very curious to see what places you can actually use him in. We'll have to wait until we get our hands on these. Well, I mean, we do have our hands on these refines already. So we'll have to wait until people figure out how to use him most effectively, I feel. But no, I mean, overall, all these refines are pretty solid. I don't think any of them are, like, bad, per se. None of them are, like, Brave Hector level, which is where the S tier is. But, I mean, I don't think we want another Brave Hector refine, right? Yeah. Let's not have another Brave Hector. It's been, like, almost 2 years and he's still one of the best tanks in the game. Still crazy. But yeah, those are the refines of the batch. Of course, with the update, we also got Muarim, and Muarim actually is super interesting. At the start of turn, inflicts attack speed def res -6 on foe within 4 spaces of unit. So if I read this correctly, this is all foes within 4 spaces, and it's basically like an Omni Menace, except you don't get like the buffs, but you don't really need the buffs. I think he will be a very good support unit too. I can see something like this being paired with like Hilda, with that dominance, will just have like 24 true damage. Or like Dual Micaiah, 24 true damage. That is really crazy, I feel. And then of course the rest of the condition at the start of combat grants attack speed +6 to unit and neutralizes bonus. I think that's okay. And then the standard beast effectiveness as well. And here are the stats. Obviously very fast and very strong on attack. Skills, are you serious, IS? Even attack wave at 5, yeah. But no, like, Muarim I think is not Orson. I don't know if he's an Ash nerd, but I think he's going to be somewhere in the middle. And again, inflicting this Omni Menace to all foes within 4 spaces is really strong. And yeah, the art is also so good as well. Oh my goodness, this is so good. Like, oh, so good. I love this art. Oh, also one thing, actually, before I go away, this transformation effect is interesting in that it's not based on whether you're adjacent to only beasts or dragons. It's at the start of turns 2, turn 4, and all later turns. That will cause the unit to transform. So this is something actually really new. We haven't seen like any changes to transformation effects before. So like this is a really interesting design choice, and I actually really like this. It really fits well thematically with how Muarim went feral due to Izuka during that one scene in Radiant Dawn. So yeah, super excited to see how he turns out. And yeah, overall, this is our batch of refines. Let me know down in the comments what you think the best refine is, what your favorites, who you're most excited for. And yeah, and as always, if you like the content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell, all that jazz to help the channel. Only takes 5 seconds to subscribe, but it truly does help out this channel a lot, and I really do appreciate all the constant support. Again, let me know down in the comments what your favorite refine is. And yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and see you all next time.